What's going on? What's going on? How is everybody doing? I don't know if I got sound or not. Let me pull this up real quick. Hold on. I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I need to play this song. And obviously, this is not my music. This is actually Cardi B. So yeah. So I don't know where. Let me see this. Oh, play it. So I don't know if I'm live now. Actually, it's still locked. I don't know why it does that. But now I'm officially live. So let me see if I can rewind this where you can hear this. So yeah, so that's what it's about. Actually, I wanted to give 10x. Actually, I guess you guys know that I went to the 10x conference. Let me see if I got sound on this thing. Let me see. Hear no sound. I don't know why it's not going. Where is my sound at? Oh, I know what. Probably playing through. Let me see if I can hit this. See if I can. Where is my audio? Hopefully I got sound. I hope I do. Let me check real quick. Let me see if I do that. Let me see. Hopefully I got sound. If not, then I'll have to redo this. But actually, I don't want to go live 15, 20, 30 minutes and not know that I'm live, or not know that I have sound. So let me, where my headphones at? Let me check this. I don't know. You might hear my wife in the background. They're doing school. Let me see. Yeah, I got sound, so I'm good. Yeah, let me pull these out now. But yeah, I wanted to actually just let you guys know what I learned from the 10X conference, 10X takeaways. Let me throw this up here on Be Live. Show 10X practical and tactical takeaways. So I just wanted you guys to know what I learned from the conference, just so you know what's going on. Dean, how you doing? I see you done tuned in with us, man. It's been a while since we been on the mastermind. Actually, we need to start something up again. My wife just told me that is what's going on, Dean? Yeah, Killer C. Yeah, but yeah, we need to start a mastermind up again. I don't know if it wants to be you in there. I'm looking for people to join my mastermind. So yeah, I'm looking for people to join the mastermind with me. I want to keep it to small group of people. My wife just told me that that's what it talks about in Big Money in the House. That's you, Dean. Yeah, me and you, Big Money. I got something for you. Good. Send it to me after this live. I don't know how long I'm going to go live, but I have how many steps here? I got about 5 steps that I'm going to, or actually 5 tips that I learned from the 10X conference. And I'm going to be applying these to my business. And actually, my wife already applied some of these. So I don't know. Did you hear the intro, Dean? Cardi B, money, money, money. So actually, they were playing that at the conference too. It was pretty live and pretty hype. If you guys don't have haven't went to 10X, I would advise you guys to go to 10X. It's a very, I guess it's a different experience just to see, something like that live and in person, and just being with a whole bunch of business owners in a stadium. I think they said it was like, well, so he said, Grant Cardone said he sold 10,000 tickets or so. Not 10,000, but 30,000 tickets. But all the seats weren't packed. So, I mean, the seats weren't filled. I mean, they were empty seats. But he said he sold the tickets. He just said they kind of reneged on their decision to come. I mean, that's what he said. So it's really supposed to be like 30,000 to 33,000 something people or tickets that he sold, or so it's supposed to be that amount of tickets or that many people there at the conference. So it's actually been a while since I actually been on live, sitting down right here at my desk on my computer. So I won't say I'm nervous, but just a little different, because most of the time, I've actually just been going live on location, out whenever, just kind of throwing up stuff. But I actually have a format today. Most of the time I do not have a format, but I actually have a format today. What's going on, Jack? How you doing? I had a ticket but couldn't go. That sucks, Dean. How you gonna get a ticket and couldn't go? Actually, I got free tickets. Actually, because I'm in the Ty Lopez Mastermind, we got free tickets to go. But I guess you had other things planned. I know a couple of other people had tickets as well, but they couldn't go. How you doing, Jack? What's going on? Yeah. So actually, I wanted to go over this. I'm wearing this hat because I actually got this hat at the conference. Well, I guess it's on this side, 10X conference. And obviously, this is Grant Cardone's logo here. And I guess one reason why he said that, actually, he wrote this off. So he pretty much buys clothes. Nervous and excited is the same feeling. Yeah, I am pretty excited to go live. Mine was free from Ty. How'd you get free tickets from Ty? Ty gave us free tickets. And I don't know if you really want to call it free because we had to, well, we're in his mastermind, so you know that's not free. So that's interesting. You got free tickets from Ty. But yeah, anyway, I mean, you don't have to explain it here. Maybe we can talk about it behind the scenes. So looks like I have 6 people viewing me, which I have no idea who those people are because I only see 3 names, and that's Dean, which I've addressed you, Jack, and I see Kevin now. But yeah, so what I'm going to talk about now is, instead of all this rambling and all this introduction, I got a long introduction, which I actually have that up here too. I'm trying to, do a little bit, a format, which I cannot see. That's interesting. My wife and my wife and I went to 10X. I figured that would show up on the screen too. This is actually new to me as far as putting up, I guess, descriptions and introductions. So, yeah, my camera's focusing and all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know. You guys can tune in. What? Oh, my wife's coming in the door now. She said, I guess she didn't know I was live. It doesn't matter. I told y'all probably heard them in the background singing or something. But yeah. So actually, it brings me to my first, my first point, which is, here we go. Let's see. So let's show this. Actually, let me talk about that. So, yeah. So number one is, if they don't know you, they can't flow you. So that's why Grant Cardone talks about cash flow, which obviously is really not about how much money you make, because there's a lot of rich people that just have money sitting in the bank, but it's about the constant flow of money. That's why they call it currency, because money moves. Money is actually, you need to have your money moving. You need to have a constant flow with your money. Hello, got a go still in Miami researching art scene. Oh, that's nice, Jackie, still in Miami. Yeah, I flew out Tuesday, I think it was. Yeah, Tuesday. And then actually I went back to work yesterday, which was kind of, it was pretty difficult. I know I got some of my employees watching, but it's just kind of hard to, once you come off of a conference, come back from a conference with business owners and pretty much making your own schedule. But then you have to come back to a normal schedule, or a schedule where somebody else is pretty much, controlling you, where you have to be told what to do. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. But yeah, it is what it is. It's my choice, my decision. So that's where I am now. But yeah, just like I was saying, if they don't know you, they can't flow you. So Grant Cardone talked about getting attention and what you need to do. Money has energy. Yeah, that's true. Everything has energy. That's true, George. Thank you for joining in. Thank you for commenting. I appreciate you. Actually, I did not get to meet you at the 10X conference. I don't know, somehow we got separated. There was actually a lot of people that I didn't get to meet. I actually ran into Saba, and that was when I was actually going to meet Chad Coterie, the owner of Dash Clicks, and I ran into her when I was going down the steps, but we didn't get to talk for long. And there was a couple of other people that I didn't get to meet. Evan, I didn't get to meet him. I didn't get to meet Pamela. So, I mean, that's pretty, I don't know, I guess it's just the nature of the beast. But they had, I guess the way they had things set up, and then lunchtime, you had like an hour, but really an hour wasn't enough because the lines were so long. So, and there was so many people in there. Everybody went to lunch at the same time. Then you had to wait in line for the bathroom, which I'm not complaining. But it just kind of took away from some of the networking. And then I guess we had other networking events, and there were several groups where I was at. But anyway, you don't want to hear about my time. That's not what this is all about. But anyway, cash flow. Yeah, next time we're getting to meet. Yeah, that's true. We'll get to meet. I don't know if any of you guys are going to Funnel Hacking Live, but if you are, I won't be there. So at least not yet. Yeah, 35,000 people. Yeah, that was a lot. So Grant Cardone said there were still a lot of empty seats that I saw. So that's just, I know he said he had, that's how many tickets he sold. But yeah, so what Grant Cardone said, if they don't know you, took an hour to get back from lunch. Yeah, actually it took me longer than an hour because I actually went outside a couple of times. But yeah, if they don't know you, they can't flow you. So Grant Cardone talked about getting attention. And he really talked about how you need to get in front of people. It's like, I know he has another saying that who has my money? So you really need to get in front of people's eyes, the people that have your, you don't know who has your money really. I mean, you might know your particular audience and your target audience. You might know the demographics and all that stuff of the people you're trying to reach. But the thing is, you have to get in front of those people. How are you going to get in front of those people? Are you going to run Facebook ads? Are you going to go door to door? Are you going to do cold calls? But he said, you just have to make an action to get in front of those people. So that's what it is. It's about flowing. And yeah, I went on a tangent there. I mean, but the thing is, it's about cash flow. Cash flow is not necessarily just the amount of money that you get. It's the fact of that your money is actually moving. It's flowing. Cash flow, income, outcome. You got to keep your money moving. He talked about, just putting money in the bank and leaving it there and sitting it there. It's like, why are you doing that? Because you're scared. You're saving your money for a rainy day. And then he talked about how, it rains often in Miami. So it's like, why are you saving your money for a rainy day when you know it's going to rain? So you just need to constantly have, your cash flow. You need to have cash coming in. You need to have cash flowing in, pretty much all the time. Always make offers. That's right, George. You always got to make offers to get money. And then that leads me to my, so that was number one. Actually, number two is 10x your hobbies. And this is something that my wife has already applied. She actually has she actually implemented this where she is actually starting, I don't know if I need to go into details or not, but she's actually starting business where it actually helps people to, with their business ideas, and she's charging people. So she's charging people to help them with their business ideas. And, which is a good thing because she's always giving away a lot of free information. She has a mind she has a business mind. So she's always giving people ideas about how they can improve their business, how they can grow their business. So she said, why don't I just charge them just from, Steve Harvey's talk? Because Steve Harvey talked about Grant Cardone asked him, he was like, what does 10X mean to you? And Steve Harvey said, what 10X? He said, actually, I was talking about this with my sons. And he said, I told two of my sons, I don't know how many sons he has or kids he has, but I know he said he told two of his sons the answer, or he told them, he said, it kind of goes along the lines of this, where he said, if you're going to 10X something, because his sons asked him, they said, Dad, how can we be successful like you? And Steve Harvey said, that is, I guess, a struggle that a lot of business owners or, real true business owners, millionaires have, is the fact that what's going on, Gary? What's going on, Pat? A lot of true business owners have the issue that they have is they want to pass their wealth on to their kids, which, yeah, obviously they can pass their wealth on to their kids, but they also say that they want their kids to actually start their own businesses and to grow their own businesses. They want their kids to be successful too. And Steve Harvey was like, how can I get my kids to be successful? And really that's what his son was asking. And so his son asked him that question. It's like, Dad, how can I be successful like you? And Steve Harvey said, look, he said, start out small. Think of something that you do pretty much like a hobby. And he said, figure out a way to get people to pay you. So he said, let's take, for instance, let's take, for instance, you like to draw. Figure out a way to get people to pay you to draw for them, or to give them paintings. I mean, you can pretty much just do a drawing and then try to sell it for like $10. Then whatever you did to get those $10, multiply it by 10, do it again, get another 10, which now you have 100. So you talk about 10x something. So you constantly keep doing that. So once you get that 100, then you 10x it again. But actually, I'll use the exact example. It just came back to my mind. I'll use the exact example that he said. He said there was a friend that he used to grow up with. He said him and his other friends, they pretty much just they always wanted to go out, parties and stuff. You know how kids are, man. Yeah, let's go play. Let's go party. Let's go to the club. Let's go, shoot basketball, at the park, or let's just go hang out at the mall. You know how kids are. So Steve Harvey said that, as far as, when he was growing up, but it was just this one friend, he did that with his friends, he was just telling the story how, he grew up and all that stuff. I think he's from Detroit. So he told he was actually telling his friend, he said, yeah, this is what we used to do. But he said it was one of my friends that did not. He said he didn't want to go with us because all he wanted to do was cut grass. And they were like, what's wrong with you? And he said, let's go to the mall. He's like, no, I got to finish cutting this yard. It's like, what do you mean you got to finish cutting? It's like, you're always cutting the yard. So then, in wintertime, I guess it's really, I don't know if there's many leaves up there or not. But anyway, he was like, well, I got to finish up this yard, even in wintertime. In summertime, they're like, well, let's go so-and-so hang out. He's like, no, I got to finish this yard. So Steve Harvey said pretty much he was charging people maybe like $10 for the front and $10 for the back just to cut their yard, take care of their grass and all that stuff. But he said now he is a millionaire because he pretty much continuously kept doing that same thing. So he 10x'd his company, something that he was doing when he was a little kid. I mean, I don't know if you want to call cutting grass a hobby, but, pretty much, I guess he enjoyed it, or at least he enjoyed the money and what he was getting out of the the fact that he was getting compensated for doing something, doing a particular type of work instead of, doing like I did. My first job was at Winn-Dixie. So I went and worked for somebody else. The kid actually worked for himself and he grew his business. So now he's a millionaire. So whatever it is, whatever you do, I don't know if you like making jewelry, crocheting. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you like talking, figure out, a way that you can get people to talk, which that's also one of my points, but I'll get to that in the, down the road. But yeah, just figure out something you do and then you 10x it. I mean, I don't know, maybe you like fishing. So maybe you can train people how to fish. Maybe you can make an ebook on fishing. Steve Harvey was great. He was good. And so that leads me to my next topic, which is Pete. What is how you say his name? Actually, he said this, so no offense, no pun intended, but he said, he was just a Mexican guy who nobody knew because he was on the stage with Grant Cardone. I mean, you had Grant Cardone, you had Elena Cardone, you had Steve Harvey, you had Damon John, you had a couple of other heavy hitters, Bethany Frankel, and then you had this guy, Pete Vargas. He was like, how in the world? Because, I mean, he showed the billboard and he was obviously the last one on the billboard. And that was pretty interesting, the fact that he was actually even on the billboard. Yeah, Ty Lopez. I mean, just the fact that it's like, who is this guy, Pete? My wife had heard of him before because he actually spoke at a conference in California. And she heard him. Oh, yeah, Jesse Itzler. I forgot about him, which I don't know if a lot of people know him or not, but my wife heard of him as well. But I think he's pretty big because actually he owns the Atlanta Hawks. So I don't know if you know anything about basketball. I really don't know the owners of a lot of teams, but obviously, he's known at least in certain areas. But this guy, Pete, it was like nobody really knew who he was. And this is his story. He's telling the story. He was like, yeah, this is how I pitched Grant Cardone. So you pretty much need to learn how to sell on stage. And that's kind of what he was talking about, where not necessarily, a stage can be anything. This is actually my platform right now, me talking to you guys. And I forgot about Russell, which that I don't know, did I put Russell in here? Oh yeah, I do talk about Russell. I'll get into that. But I forgot about Russell. But yeah, he was powerful too. So he knows how to speak on stage. Russell Brunson knows how to speak on stage. But that does lead me to my next topic or my next point. So appreciate that, Pat. But so you need to learn how to sell from stage, and the importance of selling for stage actually leads me to Russell Brunson, where he made $1.6 million in 90 minutes. That was more than Gary Vee has made in multiple speaking engagements, more than Oprah Winfrey has made in her speaking engagements, more than the president of the United States has made. He made that in 90 minutes. And he was saying that, Gary Vee took the route of being, he wanted to be a celebrity. Russell Brunson said, I don't want to be a celebrity. He's like, I like spending time with my kids. So he said, I got to figure out how I can 10x everything within a specific short amount of time. So that's what he did. And he sold, I mean, just selling one particular product or selling, I don't know if it was multiple products or what, but anyway, the point is he made $1.6 million in 90 minutes. And I think somebody said at this conference, that was last year, I think at 10X conference, because this is the third one. I don't know who was at the first one, but the one last year, Russell Brunson was there as well. And I think that was last year, but somebody said this year he made $7 million in only like 90 minutes, but he spoke twice. So I don't know if you want to say 180 minutes or what, but yeah. So, I mean, that's why you need to learn how to speak from stage, and your stage can be anything. I mean, your stage can be, just public speaking where you're actually getting up in front of people. But I mean, if you are public speaking, I would actually, expand that, where I would get somebody to record you public speaking, and then I would put it on Facebook, I would put it on YouTube, I would put it on, make a podcast out of it. I would expand your content, because what's the point of speaking once and then that be it? I mean, I would expand it out, just use it over and over again, use the same content over and over again, and give yourself more exposure from just one event, because that's also 10X. And it's not necessarily that you need to 10X your money, but you also need to 10X. What's going on, Rudy? How you doing? Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. But yeah, you don't just need to, 10X your money. You need to 10X everything in your life. That actually leads me to my next topic, which is Elena Cardone, where she said, if you're going to have a business and you have a family, why don't you make your business a family business? And she kind of, told a story with her and Grant of how they worked together, because actually Grant introduced her as his business partner, which that's kind of interesting, which I know Alex Shalinsky does that with his wife as well, because I'm a member of POD. And it was kind of interesting to actually get his wife to send me, actually, I guess when I joined the program, I got an email from his wife or a messenger request from his wife. And I was like, this is pretty interesting, because most people don't include their wives in their or their spouses in their business. I mean, even if you have a woman that is actually going out, doing business stuff, most of the time the husband's not in it. Most of the time you have the husband, which the wife is not in it. So that's pretty interesting to see that. My wife and I are actually going to do some things together as far as, doing business things. We're creating some products and all that stuff. So that talks about, 10X and 10X, and where, she talked about how they work together. She talked about how they can, how they do things together. And she was like, yeah, he's, I help him out with the kids and he helps me out. Because apparently she was going to write a book. And I guess she said when Grant writes a book, it takes him like a week, but it was taking her like 10 months or something to write a book. And he was like, you need to hurry up and finish a book. I think he called her lazy and something else he said. And she said she just got so mad and upset when he called her that. And, it really pissed her off. But the thing is, actually there was a pastor, one of my pastors used to say this, that, in order to get you to move, I must offend you. So you must be offended at sometimes, not all the time, but I mean, in order to get some people to move, you got to offend them. So Grant offended his wife, Elena, and guess what? She finished the book within like a week. She finished it up. And then actually, I think it went on the New York Times bestseller. But the point was, she came back to him and said, that really hurt my feelings that, you told me that there was that I was lazy, and it was something else he called her too. He was like, man, you just take your time with stuff and you're lazy. But, she told him that, it kind of made her upset, but he was like, I did that on purpose. He said, I knew that would get you to finish the book. He said, never once did I believe you were lazy or whatever else he said. And he said, I only did that to get you to finish the book. So that's why you need people in your life that'll actually push you to do things you don't want to do. You need people in your life to offend you. That's why I want to start up another mastermind. I know I just finished a mastermind, and I need to start another one, whether it's paid, unpaid, whatever. But I'm looking for a group of business members, owners. Hit me up in my inbox if you want to be in it. I'm trying to start a mastermind, because that's what Napoleon Hill talked about. My wife just told me that Napoleon Hill talked about that in his book, the Think and Grow Rich, where you need to have a mastermind. You need to have other people in your area. And I just got back from, which that kind of leads me to my next topic of Ty Lopez. So he was there as well, which kind of biased towards him, because actually he was the one that got me started. Kind of, I guess, progressed me. My wife was really the one that got me started and got me looking at doing things online. And But he was kind of the one I was following online at first, as far as I guess you want to say, if you say guru. I know my wife used to follow Pat Flynn and a couple of other people, but I kind of related more with Ty Lopez because he's kind of from close to my home state. He's from North Carolina. I'm from South Carolina, and the situation was, with actually I forgot where I was going with that point, but anyway, whatever. So it leads me to Ty Lopez, and oh yeah, as far as he was the one that actually got me started looking at doing things online, and I started following him, and he was one of my favorite speakers there at the 10X conference. And just the fact that he really wasn't trying to sell products. I mean, I guess they said that he had to sell something. I don't know if it came from Grant, or I don't know if it came from, probably came from Grant, because Grant apparently gets a percentage of whatever they sell, which I don't know why Grant just didn't. I don't know why they just didn't pay him, one topic, but maybe they speak for free. And then obviously Grant says, I guess if you're going to pitch my people, then I'm going to get paid for it a certain way. But I mean, Ty was just kind of real lackadaisical with what he was selling. What's going on, Rudy? I guess you joined again, you left and came back, which I guess that's a good thing. What's going on, Omar? And the thing that Ty talked about was, he talked about actually having e-com business, where he was saying that, some of these people or some of these companies that you go into, let's say, I don't know, maybe some of these mom and pop stores that sell clothing. Actually, there's one here local. I'm going to give them a shout out because I used to buy clothes from them all the time. It's called GQ Fashions. And he said, you may need to go into some of these fashion stores or clothing stores or, shoe stores, go into them. If they don't have an online presence, go into them and say, you can hook them up and, set up their website, run social media ads for them and all that stuff. Ty's saying this is going to be a big online thing. And then obviously, I didn't put this on there, but I just now thought about it as far as home sharing, doing Airbnb, opening up your home and figuring out a way to do that as well, where you can get actually compensated, because we stayed at an Airbnb when we were in Miami. So that's going to be big as well, just doing Airbnb things. Opening up your house for Airbnb. And then he also talked about doing website audits, where you can actually just go on to a particular person's website, maybe a local company, maybe a national company, maybe an international company. And you can just go online and you can do a website audit, where you just record the screen, say you can do this, this, and this with your website, and then send it to them and see if they respond. But so I mean, these are the 6 points right here. If you missed any of them, just go back and watch them. I'm not explaining them again. I want you to watch my videos. So you can just go back out. But I mean, that's just the thing. So the reason why, one of the reasons, those really weren't in any particular order except for the first one that I put. The thing is, you need to get attention, everybody. I mean, and then, I kind of, Grant Cardone also talked about selling. He's saying, man, everything you do is sales, whether you're a business owner or not. I mean, even if you're trying to get a new job, if you're trying to move up and, get a new job, if you're trying to move up in the current job that you have to sell yourself. So you need to learn how to sell. You need to get people's attention. You need to get your manager's attention. You need to get your CEO's attention, regardless. I mean, you need to get your wife's attention, your kids' attention, because you're trying to sell them. What if you want to move? What if you want to relocate? It's like, do you just relocate on your own, or do you just say, well, we're going to up and move? Or do you try to sell your family on the fact of why you need to relocate? So that's the thing, man. Sales is everything. Sales is everywhere. I mean, even when you go into the store, even when you go to the flea market and negotiate, if you guys go to the flea market, whatever, I used to go to the flea market. Sometimes I still do. There's deals at the flea market, and that's what he talked about too, deals. But you need to know how to negotiate. Sales is negotiation. I mean, you think when you're selling, sales is also communication. Me communicating right now, I'm selling you to stay on my live right now. So I mean, that's the thing. If you learn sales, then you learn, pretty much you learn if you learn sales, you pretty much increase your 10x and everything if you learn how to sell, because you're getting people engaged with your content. Oh, you can't see my eyes. Let me pull this up now. But you can't get people to engage with any of your content if you can't sell. I still got one viewer on, which is a good thing. I have no idea who that is because I really can't see. But I can't see who's on and who's not on. But So that was the key takeaway. Get attention and learn how to sell. Over all the speakers, all the things, which I really don't follow Grant Cardone that much. What made me look at Grant Cardone was it Pamela Chinchilla? I think she mentioned somewhat about 10X. And I think that's kind of why I started looking. I never really Econ is like a 19-year-old kid, which I just lost. Looks like I just lost my connection. I don't know why that's doing that. I think I might have just lost connection, but I'm still going live for some reason right here. I don't know what happened. Let me go like some of these comments. I don't know what happened to my feed. I don't know what happened, but anyway, let me go ahead and end because I don't want to just be talking. This is not broadcasting, but appreciate that, everybody. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, get people's attention and think about this cash flow. Make sure you're trying to figure out a way for your money to flow. Yep. But most of all, in order to get this cash flow, you need to get people's attention first. So get people's attention. Do what you need to do to get somebody's attention. Scream and yell if you want to. Grant Cardone, I also heard him say this as far as mentioning his kids. He's like, kids don't sell, they close. He was like, automatically, if a kid wants something, they're just going to scream and yell, and, they're going to do everything you can. Think if you go to a store and you don't buy something for your kids. If you have any kids, if you even been to the store with kids, think about that. Think about how you can, how a kid just wants or get something, or they try to do everything they can to get something. I mean, they scream and yell. They don't worry about anything else until they get what they want. They don't care about who's looking at them. They draw attention to themselves. And obviously, as a parent, you're going to try to do everything you can to prevent them from screaming. So, I mean, they're pretty much going to get their way. And if you constantly did that, then obviously they know how to work you. So, I mean, that's another thing. Kids have discernment. So you need to have discernment with your sales as well. But let me go ahead and get off here. You guys have a good one.